Welcome everybody to the Healing Cooperative September meeting. And we're very excited to have Hannah Craig as our speaker. And Hannah is going to be presenting The Future is Now, empowering us through bioresonance technology. We're very excited about this presentation. And Hannah, you have the floor.
Thank you, Susan. So great to be here with you all today. I am excited to share with you something that I'm extremely passionate about, but I thought I'll give a brief background of myself first. So like Susan mentioned, I'm Hannah. I'm the owner of Woven Holistic Wellness over in Texas. And I started this business a couple of years ago, but I haven't always been in holistic wellness. We all have our own journeys, and I've been on both sides of the healthcare system. I started as a speech language pathologist working in the hospitals, level 1 trauma hospitals with stroke and traumatic brain injured adults. And I did that for 8 years. While going through my own healing journey, I found holistic health and could no longer turn away from getting to the root cause and wanting to be on the preventative healthcare side. I was tired of witnessing my patients stay sick or get sicker in the allopathic world. And so I had to remove myself from that setting. And now with Woven Holistic Wellness, my passion is getting to the root cause and preventative health. And I do that through a couple of different modalities, one of which I'm going to speak with you about today. So let me pull up my screen share here. And I will share my presentation. Maybe.
And you do have permission to share.
Okay, thank you.
Set it up in such a way so you do have permission to share.
There it is. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so the future is here. I used to always think when I've been working with this device for about 2 years now, and I used to think like, this is so Star Trek, Star Wars, like this can't be real. But now that I've been doing it for 2 years, I absolutely, believe in it, and it just all makes perfect sense. So I have a device called the AO scanner. Who here is familiar with bioresonance technology? Maybe you've ever experienced something before.
Similar to biofeedback?
Yeah. So I am also certified in neurofeedback, which is kind of how I got started in this industry. And now I use this tool called the AO scanner, but really everything in our body is energy. So even things like EEGs and EKGs and ultrasounds, it's all sending frequency energy to the body. And then our bodies are sharing what's going on, right, with our brain waves and our heart. And so it's been around for decades, but it's mostly only ever been used for diagnostic purposes, not also therapeutic supportive benefits. So today I'm going to be sharing with you all about the AO scan technology. So like I mentioned, everything is energy. Every cell and organ in the body has their own distinctive vibrational frequency. When these oscillations are disrupted, whether by injury, diet, stress, maybe something in your environment, or emotions, then it can affect the function. And so we want, of course, to live in harmony and not have these disruptions occur. So what can we do about that? Well, over the last 20 years, different scientists and biophysicists have cataloged these frequencies in the human body. And that is where they created the AO scan technology. So Nikola Tesla, who you may have heard of before, was quoted saying, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And he was really the foundation for this theory of everything is energy. And he was onto it long before this particular device was ever created. And then also Albert Einstein said the future of medicine is a medicine of frequencies. So here we are in 2022 with access to many different bioresonance technologies, one of which I'll be sharing with you today. Another example is Dr. Royal Rife, who you may have heard of. He helped 16 cancer patients become cancer-free by using his beam ray technology, which uses specific frequencies to target different illnesses. So I am going to just move this little, there we go. So what is our goal in life, right? Do we want to go through life just putting Band-Aids on every health symptom that shows up? Or do we want to get to the root cause so that we can thrive, both emotionally and physically? Shoving those emotions under the rug, not dealing with them, is not going to benefit us in the long term, just like taking an aspirin for a headache is not going to benefit us. We need to get to the root cause of why these things are occurring so that we can bring balance back into our body, mind, and spirit. So the AO scanner. What is the AO scanner? Well, it is a personal bioresonance frequency generating device that identifies the energetic imbalances in both your emotional and physical health, and then sends the optimizing frequencies back to your body so that you can reach a state of harmony or homeostasis. When our body is functioning in harmony, disease is unable to thrive. And I think that would be the goal for most of us here on this earth, is for us to feel well so that we can go out and help and do better in the world. When we feel good, we do good, right? None of us want to have any sort of disease in our body. So the AO scanner was previously a $38,000 practitioner grade device created back in 2008. And it back in 2020, the founder of the technology decided that he wanted to give access to more people, give this technology into more hands and empower people to put their health back into their hands. I came across this technology while I was working at a wellness center, and it changed my life within minutes. The person who was there asked me to take my rings off. So I did. And I thought, what is this thing? And he said, now choose the frequency from the list. There was hundreds of them. So I picked the first one that resonated, which was cystitis. And he had me set my rings on the device, and he started to imprint the frequencies into my rings. Now, I had had a cyst for 10 years that was benign in my left breast. I knew exactly where it was. It was about the size of a nickel, always in the same spot, never went away. He had me imprint these frequencies. 3 days later, I was nursing my daughter, started to feel around to see if I could find the cyst, and it was gone. Did the same thing the next day because I thought, there's no way. I mean, I've tried lots of different things to get this thing to go away. So it was in that moment that I knew, if it could do that, what else could it do? I wanted it in my toolbox for my family. And so that's how this all got started. Then, of course, I was so blown away with it. I started to share it with my friends, my family, and they all wanted one. So fast forward to 2 years later, now I'm using this in my woven holistic wellness practice to support people all over the world, but also I am a distributor for the company. So I'm going to go over some of the amazing programs that this bioresonance tool offers. It's an extremely comprehensive tool that covers just about every area you would need to bring balance to in your emotional and physical health. So the first program is called the Inner Voice Program. And this is going to identify the top 4 negative emotions that you are most experiencing. It does this by recording your voice for 10 seconds. Then it creates a report and personalized meditation music, or what we call balancing harmonics, that uses binaural beats and specific frequencies playing behind the music to help shift your emotional state to a more balanced place. So we know that at the root of all disease, there is an emotional connection, which is why we can't just focus on the physical. If you eat well and you exercise, that is great and wonderful, but we also have to pay attention to the emotions that are trapped in our subconscious, some of which we may not even be aware of. So this is what the report looks like. I love this tool because it's educational. It's going to tell you, this is your emotion here. These are the areas of the body it can affect. So if somebody is not in tune with their emotions, they may say, I've been suffering from digestive issues for a decade, and I've tried everything. I've gone to every doctor, and nothing is working. But they haven't addressed their emotions. And just by listening to their inner voice music, which is 12 minutes long, or their personalized meditation music, which is 12 minutes long, I have seen people go from severe insomnia, only getting 1 to 2 hours of sleep at night, to sleeping through the night within several weeks. I have seen people with chronic illness heal symptoms that otherwise other supplements and foods and even medications weren't able to, just by addressing their emotions and shifting them to a more balanced place. So never underestimate the importance of dealing with those emotions. And this is a great, safe, and gentle way to do that. So then we have the vital scan. And what this does is it's your blood biology scan. It's going to identify the energetic imbalances within your blood biology in categories such as your toxins, hormones, minerals, allergies for both food and environmental, heavy metals, hormones, a whole CBC panel, and much more. Once it identifies what's energetically out of balance, it's then going to send the balancing frequencies back to your body to help shift those things to a more balanced state. So what I like to say is, when we go to your doctor, they say, okay, here's your blood work, here's what's wrong with you, have a good day, or maybe here, take a pill. Now you have the opportunity to, within minutes, without having to go see a doctor and without having to go get blood work, be able to identify the imbalances in your body, and then also have the therapeutic benefit of shifting your body back to a homeostatic state. And I will always say there is a need for doctors in this world, especially emergency situations. And this doesn't take place of a physician, but what it does do is it helps to empower you to know what's going on in your body on a day-to-day basis, or however frequently you would like to scan yourself. And then take that information, if the same imbalances keep showing up for you and you can't figure out what's wrong, to a practitioner and say, okay, I know this is what's going on with my body. How can you support me? So it's a very powerful tool for you to be able to take back your health. So this is just a sample of what the report looks like. The red dots mean that these things were out of balance for this person. After we sent the optimizing frequencies, they shifted to green. Some things will be balanced, and of course that's the goal, to see all green, as many greens as possible. But something to note is that, let me go back here, is that even if we eat well, we exercise, we meditate, we practice mindfulness, there are some things in our life we can't control. For example, the air quality. Where I live, I can't control, as much as I try to vote with my money and however else to change that. It's just, there are some things out of our control. And so even though I'm doing all the great things, I now have this tool to help balance out, and smog pollution does show up on my scan because of where I live. And then it's able to send me the balancing frequencies to help shift that back. So I'm grateful for this, because I know that in my home, I do a lot of great things to keep myself and my family safe and protected. But the second that I leave my home, there are some things, even other people's energy and other people's emotions and feelings, maybe judgment, or, they're unsatisfied or whatever it might be. I'm able to protect myself, and I'm able to clear that energy from myself with this tool. So it has been extremely beneficial, both personally and professionally, because as a practitioner, I am exposed to other people's energy, whether it be emotional or physical. And so I need a way to protect myself so that I don't absorb it and it doesn't start to harbor within me. So the next the next program is called the Comprehensive Scan. And this is going to be a scan of your anatomy. So your organs, your musculoskeletal system, veins, arteries, nerves. It's extremely detailed. And it's going to identify the same thing, energetic imbalances. So let's say you've had chronic neck pain. It's going to pick up on the vertebrae or the nerve or the tendons or connective tissue that are involved in that. It's going to tell you just how out of balance they are. And then it's going to send the optimizing frequencies back. So I have seen people who have been going to a chiropractor for years, trying other natural holistic modalities, not be able to make a huge impact on their chronic pain and in some sort of skeletal system in their body. And by using the inner voice music, so addressing the emotions, because we know with pain comes a lot of trauma and negative emotions. But also with this comprehensive scan, be able to become pain-free. And so when I said it's comprehensive, this is part of it. We actually have a program called Comprehensive on here. So you can see an example of of the scan report, you can see all of these details here in the body. So the 4 to 6 range is in balance. If something was 9 or red, you can see that's out of balance. But after we optimize, it started to shift more towards that balanced state of the 4 to 6 range, which is great. It will also give you percentage from ideal. We're not ever going to be at 0%, maybe for some things in the body, but again, because of our environment and maybe lifestyle choices, it's hard to get there. Yeah.
Is the picture supposed to be changing on your screen? Because right now we're still at the screen number 1. Is it supposed to be on?
Oh my goodness, yes. You aren't seeing this, all these different images?
Thea, do you see anything other than the future is now?
Oh, golly, it's changing for me. I wonder, let me stop sharing and we'll try again.
What do you see, Thea?
I'm seeing the same screen the whole time.
Okay.
Let's try sharing again and see if that works here.
Yeah, I want to make sure that you get all of your slides showing.
Okay, do you see this?
Now I see the first of many. It says you have, this is 1 of 20. You have 1 of 20 slides.
Do you see the next slide now?
No.
Okay.
Go back to what you had
click
before.
on it? No, it doesn't.
Is it still the futures now?
Yeah, it's still the primary one. Go back 1 step. Remember when you had the picture and then you had the little icons on the right. Now click on the second one.
Can you see it now?
Now that's the third one. Everything is energy. Perfect. Now we can see that one.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Well, I'll just click through so you can briefly see.
No worries.
Look like, so I was talking about, I won't do the full screen mode. We'll go from here. Thank you so much, Susan. My apologies. So this is where I was talking about root cause. We want to get to the root cause and not just put Band-Aids on the symptoms, and introduce the AO scanner to you, the inner voice here. Program, which identifies the 4 negative emotions in your body. This is what the report looks like. You can play your meditation, your personalized meditation music right from the device itself, or if you're working with me, you get an email report that looks like this over here, and then has 4 MP3 files with the music in it to listen to.
Now, I'm assuming that this device, it's probably the size of a cell phone.
Yep, it's right here. Let me see if I can hold it up and show you. So I've been sending.
How does this device interface with your body?
That's a great question. So we create an energetic signature or a profile on the device. It has to have your name, date of birth, height, weight, and a picture of your face, because you are the only Susan with that information in the quantum field or the universe that exists. So similar to when I call your cell phone from across the world, let's say, because you're over in Israel right now. How does my phone find your phone? Well, it uses communication towers, and your phone has an energetic signature, which is your cell phone number. For this situation, your energetic signature is the profile that I create for you. And so it uses the communication towers, it uses scalar wave technology, and it finds you through the quantum field. So I know, sounds Star Trek-y, right? But it works every time. Yes, okay, that's a great question.
There's no kind of physical connection between the device and the body. There are no kind of like monitors or anything like that. The device just sits on the table and you don't hold it or anything like that. It just sits on the table.
You don't have to, no. The technology has advanced so much from 2008 that you used to wear a bone transducer headset, and now you don't have to. So it's just kind of like how, you know, now we have electric cars, and they have, Microsoft has those glasses where like it shows the computer. It's just very high-tech stuff that is beyond my...
Very, very high tech. I remember when I was a little girl, or not so little, I was in high school, and we had a phone in the house, and my father had to get an extra large 30-foot cord for the phone because I was constantly walking around with the phone from one room to another. And he would joke around and he would say, "You need to have a phone that you can wear like a backpack Little did we know that one day we would have cell phones that we could just carry in our hands.
That's right. And so much more. Yes. Yes. Okay. So again, I'm just going to review these slides since y'all didn't get to see them. And again, my apologies, but this is the vital scan. This is the blood biology scan that will identify the energetic imbalances within your blood. This is what it looks like when it's scanning your body. And this is what
Can it also determine your blood type energetically like that, just from?
So you can see here, this is just a sample of the report of the minerals that it'll pick up on. So red is out of balance, and we sent the optimizing frequencies and it's balanced to green. You know, some things that are more chronic or severe in the body usually take multiple scans. I'm talking in the 20s to 30s at least, to help permanently shift something to a balanced state. It's not overnight, because a lot of these things that are out of balance in the body have been in creation over years and years of your life. It's not something that just happened that day. Some things maybe, yes, and then they'll balance to green, and the next time you scan, they won't show up, but you'll start to be able to track trends with your scans to see, okay, this keeps coming up as out of balance. Maybe I need to start supplementing with potassium or magnesium. But we'll get to that in a minute, because it takes it a step further with supplements. Maybe I need to change my diet, that sort of thing. It's really a way to educate you, empower you, and help you make the positive lifestyle changes that you need to, so you can function optimally. Okay, so with the comprehensive scan here, that's the anatomical scan. What I like about this scan is you could go in and just select areas that you know you're having difficulty with. So if you are having chronic neck pain, you go in and you select the nerves and muscles and bones related to your neck. You scan and optimize that every day, and that's where you see the greatest benefits with something like that. This is what the report looks like. Same thing, a color-coded system, but this uses numbers. So in that 4 to 6 range is balance, green and blue, and then red and orange and yellow mean out of balance. So we're gently over time shifting things to a more balanced state. Okay, so another amazing program for this device is called the Supplement Library. What you do is you scan in your supplements to the device, and then it's going to scan you and tell you the top 6 supplements you need for the day. This has been a game changer for a couple of reasons. One, apparently I don't need to be taking B complex every day and neither do most people. But how would I know that? How do we truly know what we need to be taking, and if it's necessary every day, or we're just kind of, it's a shot in the dark. We're told that this supplement will help with this symptom I'm dealing with, and I'm going to take it every day, whether or not my body is even able to metabolize it, process it, absorb it, all of that. So after it scans you, it's going to tell you the supplements that you need for the day. It's also going to save you a lot of money, because you're not going to be taking the supplements that you thought you should be taking every day. And some of the ones that have been up in the cabinet for a long time that you didn't think you needed might need to come down. And so it's just been fascinating for me to have, you know, as a holistic practitioner, I'm a bit of a supplement hoarder or have been in the past. And this has just really simplified things for me and allowed me to see what not only I really need, but, you know, my children, my husband, that sort of thing. So just another way to empower you to make sure that you are doing what is in most alignment with your body, what resonates most with your body. Let's get that one. Okay, so the powerhouse, the inner voice scan that addresses your negative emotions is definitely one of the powerhouse programs. They are all necessary because of the way our bodies work synergistically. But the SEFI program is probably one of my favorites, and because it's extremely simple. So SEFI stands for Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter. This is the program that was used that got rid of the cyst in my breast, but also you can not only imprint it into things, you can broadcast these frequencies to anyone in the world as long as you have their energetic signature or profile created. So in this program, we have multiple categories for both emotional and physical health challenges, as well as we now have over 300 homeopathic frequencies. We also have Bach flower remedy frequencies. We have the ability to send chakra frequencies. So Susan, you'll appreciate this. Another thing that the scan will do is it will scan your chakras and meridians, identify the imbalances, send the balancing frequencies back. Sometimes the chakra stays out of balance, and then that's when we go into this program and send some more balancing frequencies, let's say for the heart chakra.
And do you hear the balancing frequencies coming out of this device, or are they just kind of like silent?
Yeah, you can, if you have the volume turned up. It's a bit like nails on a chalkboard for me personally, so I don't. And it's not necessary to hear them. But yes, there are free, I mean, it is there, but you don't have to hear them. So kind of just like the cell phone signal coming out of your phone to send a text. So with that, so one of the things I want to touch on with the homeopathic frequencies is I love homeopathy. I've used it for a decade now, but it's always been the forefront of my mind that in certain countries, they do not want people to have access to this. And in fact, in the United States, the FDA is always actively trying to take it off the shelf. So I want to be empowered in my home. I don't want to have to rely on anybody else if I can help it, for my health and wellness needs for me and my family. So we used to have about 40 homeopathic frequencies, and just a few weeks ago, they updated it to 300. Already I'm seeing results. I'm going to share a lot about my personal health history here, but I have had a wart on my finger that I have tried tea tree oil and apple cider vinegar and just some other holistic things on, and it won't go away. And so I have imprinted frequencies onto what we call a Cepheid dot, which is, you can see here, a holographic dot filled with silicones. You can imprint these, you put them on your acupressure points. I'm wearing a couple today because I just love them so much. And these are also newer to us in the last month, but I thought, well, you know what, let me imprint the homeopathic frequencies for warts now that we have them. We didn't have them before, onto this and just see. So I did that Friday. By last night, it was kind of like tender. So I took it off and I could see that the wart is dying. It's turning purple and black. And then I put a new one on today because, one, I didn't want to be flailing my wart around for everybody to see, but also so I could show you what these look like. So you put the Cepheid dots on your acupressure points after you have imprinted either a frequency that you need, or when you scan yourself, it will tell you what frequency you should imprint.
And how does the imprinting happen? How do you do that? Is it just a matter of pressing buttons on the device?
Yep. So you're going to have your profile pulled up. You're going to pick what you want, and then you'll see here, you'll set. If you're going to imprint, you could put your crystals, your crystal jewelry, your precious metal, the Cepheid dots onto it, and then anything that will hold a frequency, water even. And so we have a long list of different physical health ailments, about over 700. So if you name it, we probably have a frequency for it. And if we don't have the specific frequency for that health challenge, then we have the homeopathic frequencies, or we have other ways to support the body. So I use this all the time for people, like I mentioned, all over the world. I make a playlist for whatever their health or emotional challenge. Usually it's both that they're dealing with. And then I broadcast these frequencies to them. And usually within the first day, they're feeling the benefits. And after 2-3 days, whatever their issue is, has been resolved. I used it a lot in the last 2 years with the health challenge that the world has been dealing with. And so I've been able to help a lot of people that way. I'm very passionate about lymphatic health. That's another thing that I do with Woven Holistic Wellness. And I have frequencies for lymphatic depressant and plugged lymph nodes. And once we can get that system open and running, then things like viruses and other pathogens don't stand as great of a chance, and the severity of it and the time that you have it decreases. So it's been just a blessing for me personally and professionally. We'll move on here because there's a couple more things I want to share with you, but the possibilities are endless. Whenever somebody comes up to me and says, okay, well, tell me what this does, I always say, well, the better question is to ask me what it doesn't do, because it's just encompasses, it's a wellness center in the palm of your hands, right? So much for what you need to take care of your health. And then the bonus is, if you're a pet lover, this technology was also created for dogs, cats, and horses. And so we have the specific frequencies to be able to scan them. It's a little bit more limited, not as many categories but still to be able to help them. And so we have holistic vets all over the United States who are using this now in their practice to support their patients. And there are some people who buy the device just for their animals and not for them because they love their pets so much. And
So if
seeing
you have multiple pets in the house, how do you know which pet you are scanning?
you create
Does
a
the device-
profile and you put in their birth date. And then if they have like a microchip number, or we have these collars that they can wear with an ID tag on them that you put in, and then it finds them. So what you'll
Okay, so
find
the
is
the device will know the difference then between. if
yeah, because
have
you put the breed
dogs in the
in.
house.
You put the breed in, and then you put dog or cat or horse, and you put the breed, and it's a very detailed profile that you're creating. And then what I have seen is a lot of pets, because they're so intuitive, right? They're not conditioned or brainwashed like we have been just through life exposure. They intuitively just know, and they'll go over to the device. The cats especially are always like rubbing up against it and wanting to like lay on top of it. I had a friend just send me a picture the other day. Her little puppy was having an ear infection, and he just laid his head right on top of the AO scan device. So it's always, because they're so intuitive, it's nice to just see like there's no bias there. They just know what they need and they're going for it. And they can't
They
get
like
it.
the sound. They like the sound that comes out of the
Yeah.
device.
Yes. Very
Interesting.
healing.
Well, Thea is a cat lady. She knows all about cats.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
your cat would love this then if they had, if they're dealing with anything. So I just like to point out, there's some things worth considering. What do you have in your toolbox that can empower you to put your health back in your hands in this way? Within minutes, identify energetically imbalances in your body, and then also send the optimizing frequencies back to you. If you were to have a loved one who becomes sick and you can't get to them, or they're in the hospital, or whatever the situation may be, or even if they're in your own home, what do you have in your home to be able to take care of them that is going to help shift them and not just treat the symptoms, right? To get to the root cause of what it is. Because a lot of times, when you get sick, it's like, well, the symptoms align with, it could be the flu, it could just be the common cold, it could be all of these different things. And you're throwing things at it, just hoping that one of them is going to be the answer, whether it's herbs or supplements. And those things are still helpful. And I do still take those things when I'm sick, but I'm also scanning and optimizing. And what I found is, like I mentioned earlier, the severity decreases to it not really being like a full-blown illness. And then also the length of time that I have that I'm sick for is less. And we all know it's inconvenient to be under the weather, even though it's our bodies telling us we need to slow down and take it easy. We've got lives to change and people to help. So we don't want to be under the weather. So this is just a great way to support your body. And then on the preventative health side of things, what could you avoid? 20 years from now, if we're not addressing these imbalances in the body, it could turn into a disease, right? So on the preventative health side, by balancing your body regularly through bioresonance technology, you could avoid certain diseases from occurring in the body long term.
Yeah, absolutely. What does it replace the need to take blood work? For example, can it do a blood analysis?
Yeah, so the blood biology report is a full blood analysis. And what we have found with practitioners using it is, usually a client will come to us already with blood work done prior to them visiting with us. Everybody gets regular lab work usually. And so we find that the AO scanner is in alignment with that blood work. And it also picks up on a lot of things that blood work just simply can't. It's worth noting that when we have blood work done, it's being removed from our body. Somebody else is holding it. It's temperature changing, sometimes even multiple times from room temperature to going into a fridge to coming back out and being analyzed and tested, multiple people testing it. So we don't really know what happens to the chemistry of the blood during that process. I have to disclaim that this tool does not diagnose, treat, or cure. I think, what I told you is that it supports your body in getting to those places. But we have seen great success with people no longer needing to get blood work because this just does it that and then some for them, right? Because anything that is out of balance is trying to shift it back into balance for them.
I know that there's 3 blood tests that I have done every few months. I have a thyroid
Mhm.
test, I have a sugar test,
Mhm.
and I have a cholesterol test.
Mhm.
And I'm curious if I put my profile into this device and I did the blood scan, would I be able to get the readings for cholesterol level, sugar, and
Yes.
those types of things? So I could
Yes,
get
so it's going to cover a whole thyroid panel. It's going to cover your hormones. It's going to cover probably more cholesterol markers than just your standard lab work. If you're getting specialized lab work for cholesterol, then maybe it would be the same. And then also it not only covers blood sugar and insulin markers, but it also covers your pancreas function, which, as you know, is part of that picture. So, you know, we can balance blood sugar, insulin levels all day, but if we're not also sending the balancing frequencies to the pancreas, we're only going to get so far, right? It's that whole synergistic approach to bringing harmony to the body.
Right, so it doesn't just tell you what your reading is, what your cholesterol level is, but it also works on improving the cholesterol level.
Right, right. Getting to the root of why is your cholesterol
Mhm.
imbalanced to begin with? What's causing that?
Wow, fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, and does the person have to be in the same room as the device, or can you, for example, program the device with my information from where you're sitting right now, and it can tell you what my thyroid hormones are doing right this second, even though
Correct.
you're across the world from me?
Correct. Yep. So you do not need to be with me. We will, in fact, get off this call and let you experience it if you would like. I'm happy to do that. That was part of my gift for anyone who attended today. I want you all to experience the inner voice scan, which is the emotional scan, because I believe that that is at the root of all disease. I want to help shift those emotions to a more balanced, positive state for you, Sophia. If you want to, in the chat, maybe, let me stop sharing here. We'll get send me your email or however you'd like for me to get in contact with you. If you'd like to have experience of scan or one of the programs from the scan, I'm happy to do that.
That sounds wonderful. That would be very, very nice. It's exciting to be able to sample the goods and see what it's like.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Because I recently had my blood work done, so I'm curious to see, you know, what types of readings I'm going to get from your device and how they match up with the actual blood test results that I've gotten recently. Wow, fascinating stuff. Thank you, Hannah, so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Before I stop the recording, who developed this product?
Yeah, so his name is Lawrence Swenson, and he goes way back to when he first adopted his son, who's now 40, so 37 years ago, who had cerebral palsy. And none of the allopathic physicians here in the United States could help him and help his son. So he started to travel to health fairs around the world. And he went to Russia and China and a couple in Europe. And that's where he discovered this technology. So they gave him exclusive rights to it here. And then he came back in 2008 and created the AO scanner. Prior to that, he created a theta bed chamber. That was his first invention, and used frequencies, light therapy, binaural beats. And he was able to reverse his son's cerebral palsy. His son is now 40, a massage therapist, speaks 5 languages, a black belt in karate. You know, looking at him, you would never know that he had cerebral palsy. And so that was his passion and his, you know, intention and his reason why. And then when he created the practitioner grade device in 2008, he saw what it was doing for people, and he really just wanted to give people access to the inner voice program, that emotional program. And because though I say that he is an innovator, and I mean this in the most endearing way, like just your technology nerd geek, he was like, well, what else can I put on this little device? And then, so here we are 2 years later with 90% of the practitioner grade for a fraction of the cost.
And what does AO stand for?
It stands for Alpha Omega.
Okay.
So he believes that it is the beginning and end of all frequency devices.
Wow. Very, very interesting. Well, Hannah, thank you very, very much. I appreciate your presentation. And if somebody wants to reach out to you and find out more about the AO scanner, how do they reach you?
Yeah, so they can email me at Hannah. Well, maybe I don't know how to, you can contact me through my website, which is wovenholisticwellness.com.
What is it? I'm
Woven,
sorry.
Woven, WOVEN, Woven Holistic Wellness.
.com.
.com. And I'm also going to be obviously sharing this recorded presentation on the Healing Cooperative YouTube channel.
Thank
So
you.
anybody who would like to rewatch this presentation, you can watch it over there. And of course, please be in touch with Hannah. You can add her on Facebook. I'll be tagging her as well. All righty.
Thank you so much, Susan, for having me.
It's a pleasure. I'm going to stop the recording now.